this meeting of the Rockingham County School Board to order. Welcome to all of you this evening. We're honored to have you out. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I will entertain a motion in that regard. Thank you, Mr. Falk. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. McQuilkin. Any questions or comments with regards to tonight's agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is unanimous. I would ask that you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we will observe a moment of silence. Thank you. We will move into item number 2 on our agenda, recognition and presentations. The school board recognitions, Kelly Coxdale, Ricky Lamb Character Council Awards. Mr. Baker.
Thank you and good evening, Chair Breeden, members of the board, Dr. Scheiko, and our guests. This evening, we do welcome you to J. Frank Hilliard Middle School. It was just over a year ago, actually, we met in this auditorium during one of the most challenging years in the history of education. At that time, we were just beginning to consider what it might look like to bring all students back 4 days a week. And that was accomplished despite the obstacles and all the details that required attention. The effort then in late spring and summer centered on returning students to a more normal learning experience to start this current school year. That effort has been tremendous, and the challenges have felt insurmountable at times. In fact, as I've told many people, it's absolutely the most challenging year of my 28 years in education. But, and I tell people this also, here we are, and we are here each day serving students in the best way possible. In that daily effort, we do appreciate the work of our division leadership, and I'm just making sure this thing works. February is School Board Appreciation Month, and I would be remiss in failing to publicly thank our school board members for the courage in facing polarizing issues, the conviction to make tough decisions, and the commitment to the students, teachers, and staff members in our schools each day. Thank you. On your tables, actually, as a small token of our appreciation, you will find complimentary tickets to our school's musical, which will be held on April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We're very excited our students are very excited to be able to perform for you Annie Jr. Lots of catchy music in that one and lots of fun. February is also Black History Month, a relatively small but rich and even if sometimes hidden history of the African American experience exists right here within our own attendance area. Lucy Sims, the well-known educator born into slavery and educated at Hampton University, started her teaching career at the Athens Colored School, which was located in the Broadway, what is now the Broadway High School attendance area. She started that work in 1877. The Athens Colored School was later known as Zenda, named for the settlement there, and the school met in Long's Chapel, which is pictured here. 89 years after Lucy Sims started teaching at the Athens School, 32 years after Ms. Sims had passed away, the first black student attended Broadway High School. This is a little-known piece of history, and I appreciate Bo Dickinson sharing this with me. J. Frank Hilliard was principal then, and in this very building, and even in this very room, they would meet. Andrew Floyd Temple, who's pictured here, and remembered by friends simply as Floyd, was a senior in that class of 1966. That's the class that also was a class of Billy Pangle, who is well known in this area. Floyd did play on the school's basketball team. He would later serve his country in Vietnam, just as his classmate Billy Pangle did. Floyd possessed a great sense of humor, and Bo Dickinson actually met him before he passed away at a class of 1966 reunion. And he recalled asking Floyd Temple if it was him. Floyd Temple responded, "The one and only." So tonight, we remember and honor the one and only Floyd Temple. Thank you again, and welcome to JFHMS this evening. And I do always want to extend some public thank yous when I do this, so if you could indulge me for just a second here. I extend a special public note of appreciation to our custodial staff led by Tina Kaplinger. Their assistance in preparing for this evening and in making JFHMS a safe and healthy destination each day for our students is very much appreciated and noted. I thank assistant principals Amy Wooters and Brett Martin, who are here with me in the back. I appreciate their commitment to the students and families of this school community. This school is as smooth an operation as possible daily because of their diligent work and leadership. Kathy Brown, our band director, assists us as always with the setup and the sound system for our meetings, so thank you, Kathy. And also a special thank you to the entire JFHMS staff. I asked them once again this year to focus on being resilient, being resourceful, being relentless, and they have not disappointed. We would now like to recognize our Brittany Lamb, Kelly Cogsdale Character Council Award winners. Ms. Wooters will introduce you to two special JFHMS students. Ms. Wooters.
Welcome, everyone. I am honored to introduce and recognize two of our awesome students this evening. We would first like to recognize Sophia Haddad as Brittany Lamb Kelly Cogsdale Character Council Award winner. Sophia, would you please join me here at the podium? And Sophia, your parents may join us here, or they can stand at their seats as we recognize you. Right, now I'm going to say some nice things about you. Sophia's teachers describe her as being kind, thoughtful, mature, hardworking, and very creative. Her smile is genuine, and she shares that freely with all students and staff. On any given day, you can find her drawing, reading, discovering new music with her friends, singing in chorus class, or acting in our school's musical. She manages a very active middle school schedule with grace and commitment. Sophia is a Hawks hero, exemplifying exactly what it means to be a hero. She cares about others and is always respectful to her teachers and her peers. She is especially amazing in her work with special education classes. She works with Ms. Shull's students to learn new crafts, play games, read books, and just chat about life. She makes everyone feel included and so on the same level. You will actually hear from Sophia in a few minutes as she narrates our school presentation this evening. Thank you, Sophia, and well done.
Thank you so much, Sophia. It's so wonderful to see you here tonight and see your smiling face. I'm so excited to be here, and I hope you are as well. Since you're narrating, I'll bet you're not too worried about public speaking. So would you like to take this microphone and introduce the people you brought with you tonight?
Tonight I brought my family, my mom, Deb Haddad, my dad, Peter Haddad, my brother Clement, my sister Petra, and my other sister Paradise.
Thank you, and thank you guys, because we know that character begins at home, and without the basis you all have given her, she wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you all. Let's give them another round of applause. And I have a few things for you. We're so very proud of you, and I'm sure your family's proud of you, so we have a certificate for you to hang on your wall. And then this award is very close to our hearts. It's named after people who are very special to us, so we have a pin for you to wear near your heart. And then the sweet stuff, we have a gift certificate for you for Klein's Dairy Bar. So congratulations, and I think we want a picture. So where's the picture? And Let's give Sophia another round of applause.
And now for our next student. Jeremy Trejo Alvarez is our second student to be recognized as a Brittany Lamb Kelly Coxtail Character Council Award winner. Jeremy, would you please join me at the podium? And I would ask your parents to join us up here, or they can stand as we introduce you as well. All right, and now I have some nice things to say about Jeremy as well. One of Jeremy's 7th grade teachers described him as friendly, pleasant, and polite, noting that he can always be counted on to work diligently in order to be successful with his schoolwork. She also stated that Jeremy is just an all-round awesome kid. Jeremy is described by others as kind and hardworking. His positive attitude is admirable amidst the stress of classes and extracurricular activities he juggles. He was a member of the 8th grade boys basketball team and is playing an important role in the school's musical this year, and he did an amazing job at balancing these activities. He demonstrated dedication to each and communicated effectively with sponsors and coaches. One teacher noted that simply talking with Jeremy brightens her day. Jeremy's basketball coach knows that he is a patient, responsible, helpful person. He worked hard to learn new things daily. He was polite and courteous to his teammates, coach, and any person met on trips with the team. He always wanted to know if there was more he could do to help out. He is further described as a pleasure to coach. We are proud of you, Jeremy, and we thank you for giving all your best all the time.
So everybody can see your smiling face. And would you like to introduce your people?
Yes. Hello everyone. This is my mom and this is my sister. Thanks to God that I'm here and I won this award, and for everything nice and for everyone nice who was nice enough to treat me as nice as I treat as everyone.
And I could tell that every single word that was spoken about you was absolutely true, because your little sister was going, yes, that's true. That is very true. Yes. And it so warms my heart to see a little one looking up to you so much, and I hope you always remember that she's always watching you. So thank you for being such a good role model for her and everyone in the school. And we've got the same gifts for you, and you make sure he shares the clients with you. Let's give him a round of applause.
All right, now Mr. Martin's going to come up and introduce our volunteer of the year.
Good evening. As many great people as we have in this building, and chairs, sometimes to make things work it takes just a little bit extra, and that comes in our volunteers, form of our volunteers. So I would like for Miss Rebecca Cox to come forward, please. You may recognize Rebecca. Elkton Elementary tries to claim her. She was ours first, and we continue to keep a firm grasp on her. But not only is she a second grade teacher, but she is and has been a team mom for us on our wrestling team for several years. We are in Tour Duty 2. Yes. Second child through. Matthew is a 7th or 10th grader. Avery is a 7th grader. Benjamin third. So we're hoping to get 3 tours of duty out of her in this capacity. The reason Rebecca's with us today is, how many of you guys have ever done a wrestling tournament? I have, twice. And so it is a really, really big ordeal. So this year we hosted the Massanutten Middle School District Wrestling Tournament. If you've ever attended that event, it is an all-day, very, very good event of local middle school athletics. High level, high intensity, long day, but very good. Wrestling people are a little different. I was not a wrestler, so I couldn't tell you. But when we hosted that this year, I began to stress, because that's what you do at the last minute, you stress. So trying to figure out how are we going to pull this thing off. And my team mom said, hey, I got the hospitality room. I said, oh my goodness. I'm trying to figure out how to budget in to get a hospitality room. So Rebecca ended up getting donations from Potbelly Sandwiches. I'm trying to do this without looking down, see if I get it right. Potbelly Sandwiches, Cracker Barrel, which, by the way, their chicken tenders are phenomenal. Subway, Mr. J's, McDonald's, because we need a gallon of sweet, or a 5-gallon jug of sweet tea. And then tons of parents and volunteers. She organized completely. I wish we had pictures of the whole event, but we did not have pictures of the hospitality room. I wish we would have. She actually organized 2 hospitality rooms for us. One for the school officials, coaches, wrestling officials, so forth, and then one actually for our wrestlers to eat and visit during the day, and completely organize the whole event. So there's no way we could have done that. I was finishing punching numbers the other day, and I told Mr. Baker, because of her, our grand net for the wrestling tournament was we made $57. So yes, because of her. Because otherwise we would have gone in the hole to host that tournament and to put together a hospitality room worthy of the officials and the workers and everything. But because of her, we were able to actually come out positive. So that was a plus. We'll take it. So anyway, thank you, Rebecca. I look very forward to tour number 2 or 3.
Right. Yeah, next year you'll have me again for a parent, but then you'll have a couple more years once my younger one moves up. So hopefully we won't have any more district tournaments here for a while.
And I have a couple of things for you as well. Thank you so much. I mean, the first is our gratitude, because as a parent myself in this amazing school, I know how important parent volunteers are. So thank you for all of your service. And let's go ahead and give her a round of applause. Oh, well, let's get you out of here. Okay. But we have a certificate of appreciation as well as also a gift certificate to clients. And while you're there, you can hit them up for some donations. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. You want a picture?
Congratulations, Sophia, Jeremy, and Ms. Cox. We thank you for all you do for the school each day. The halls, if you went out now, the halls are pretty quiet as we meet here in the auditorium, and like I just love the energy that's here during the day, but it really does shut down at night and gets pretty quiet. And sometimes Jay Frank visits, and you wonder, he's hard to find, but you'll hear him more so than see him. But this evening, we do want to share with you just a glimpse of that energy that flows here each day. We're going to share some of the initiatives related to our annual school plan of improvement. 2 goals, as you will hear shortly, help to guide our work each day in providing the most relevant and engaging learning experiences possible Sophia Haddad, who you have met already, was actually our narrator for this presentation. I thank her for her role in that. I thank Ms. Wooters and also our technology assistant, Ms. Esch, for helping to pull this together. So enjoy the show.
Our school motto at J. Frank Hilliard is all our best all the time. This year we have focused very intently on doing all our best all the time. Our students, staff, and faculty hear this and we work to live it every day. 2 school-wide goals this year are to help our students achieve all their best now and into the future. These goals are all about functional literacy and social-emotional learning. And we have crafted our approach to these goals to serve what our students need.
Last school year, a group of teachers were brought together to address the literacy need of our students. This group is made up of core content teachers, specifically teachers such as our education technology teacher, the challenge teacher, the alternative education teacher, and the EL teacher, as well as the reading specialist and the librarian. This group is known as the Literacy Task Force. The LTF spent hours meeting last year to address the needs of our students and support teachers in positive ways. We can put literacy at the front of all we do. The group has supported and encouraged literacy goals in lessons across content areas, a school-wide read aloud, a focus on understanding literacy data. As a part of this support, the LTF focuses on 3 key areas: relevancy, collaboration, and incentives. The focus on relevancy is all about making literacy relevant for our students beyond school. We surveyed our students last year to find out what motivates them as readers, and we partnered with our broader community to highlight the need for functional literacy in career paths students might want to pursue in the future. Since it's been hard to bring these people to our students, we got creative and have people from the community as well as across the United States Zoom into classrooms several times a month. The students listen to a brief presentation about the career field and then have a chance to ask questions. This has been wildly successful and our students look forward to these opportunities. The focus on relevancy has also inspired more reaching out to the community in other ways as well. Last fall, we hosted the first Parks Highlight Night. We invited our families in to see all the great things we have going on. Most of our teachers were able to participate by showcasing experiments, projects, or just their interests. We ran the book fair during the event, and we hosted food trucks to enhance the event. We are planning a similar event next fall. This spring, we are piloting a community night at the Brookton Community Center with pizza and games in hopes of engaging families closer to their homes. We would like to do all of this in our attendance area starting next year. We know that the community plays a huge role in our success every day. The next focus is on collaboration. Teachers here have always collaborated, but we wanted to be more intentional about it going forward and use our grade level structures already in place to make it happen. We created the CHASE program. CHASE stands for Collaboration Helping Achieve Success in Education, and we use the forms and procedures as a way to provide meaningful interventions for students who need them. The focus is also on literacy, but students are chased for academic struggles, and we have made some real gains with students. This focus has also encouraged teachers to collaborate across content areas as well, so that our students are working on projects, reading, writing, and collaborating across different classes throughout the day. The final focus of this group is on incentives and promotion of buy-in from our students. Last school year, we held a reading Olympics competition, and our students worked very hard to read and show improvement on their reading ability. The students loved the competition, and it really served to get the students involved and excited during a very weird year. We also developed our own summer reading program, rewarding students with incentives from local businesses, and thanks to some generous help from the Mount Carmel United Brethren in Christ Church, we were able to reward some of our readers even further with some Barnes & Noble and Walmart gift cards. We included our students moving on to the high school and our new rising fifth graders in this program. It was very successful. We are working to plan the program for this coming summer as well. We are so excited to create and implement programs and procedures that work for our students. Social emotional learning is another goal we are working on this year, and again, our approach is driven by the needs of our students at Hilliard. Our advisory committee has been working since 2020 to develop a structure and lessons to meet our needs. Our advisory periods start and end the day and offer a safe space for our students to check in with a consistent adult and reflect on what is going well and share what is not. Each week starts with a Morning Matters message, and in the message, Ms. Wooters shares the theme for the week and offers some middle school perspective on the topic. Topics have included the importance of personal space, being a good friend, and showing respect to adults and peers. Throughout the week, students are asked to do some reflective writing, study parts of speech, and complete check-ins about grades. We have completed guided school read-alouds, watched videos about relevant topics related to the theme of the week, and played games. We cannot talk about social emotional learning and the successes we have had this year without talking about the success of including our BSA and the BASE program. Our BSA in this TUSIG provides support that allows so many students a chance to succeed. She works with students in the classroom, supports an alternative recess for students who need that, and she is able to support the BASE room in the alternative education program. Doing all our best all the time goes into other facets of what we do as well. Our students have the opportunity to participate in Curiosity Hour several times a month as a way to increase engagement and explore new interests. Our teachers submitted proposals at the start of the year based on the Curiosity Hour groups they wanted to host. Students then signed up for these groups based on their interests. Curiosity Hour provides a break from the normal school routine, and the students love it.
Here at Hilliard, we do all our best all the time. Whether it is in the classroom, on a stage, on a court, a wrestling mat, or a CTE competition, we are a community, willing to work together for the success and betterment of our students.
Thank you very much. That was a nice presentation. We will move to the Albert K. Fretwell Outstanding Educator Award, and I'd like to recognize Mr. Matthew Philippi.
Thank you very much, Chair Breeden, Dr. Scheichel, and the rest of the school board. I want to thank you all for allowing the Boy Scouts of America to present an award this evening at the school board. So, as I said, my name is Matthew Philippi, and I'm here to represent the Massanutten District of the Virginia Headwaters Council of the Boy Scouts of America. Real quickly, the mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. So the BSA created the Albert K. Fretwell Outstanding Educator Award to honor professionals in education who exemplify good character and inspire students to do likewise. Dr. Fretwell, the namesake of the award, was an early leader of the Scouting movement in the United States and a leading scholar in education, focusing on the value of extracurricular opportunity to improve education outcomes. So when we talk about the values of the Boy Scouts of America, they're certainly shared by the Rockingham County Public Schools. The Scout Oath and Law match very well with the pillars of character that the schools have adopted. And I won't go into recite everything here because you all are familiar with that. But the shared values that we wish to instill in our young people are important things, and it's why we are happy to recognize educators that work to promote these values. So today we're here to honor Emily Van Rokel. She was unable to join us this evening, so I believe Tammy May, her principal, may be here. Hi. You want to come on up, please? Thank you. So Tammy was also the nominated for Emily. So am I saying her name right, Rokel? Okay. She wasn't here for me to ask, so I had to make sure. So, so Emily, or Mrs. Van, as she is called at Lacey Spring Elementary, where she teaches 3rd grade, is a model of the values we want our young people to live. As the nomination form states, her students literally and figuratively look up to her. She stands almost 6 feet tall. So, unfortunately, she's not here for us to see that. But, any grade, our students would be looking up to her in both those manners, I'm sure.
It was also written, she was very clear about her expectations with her students and is productive in the manner in which she corrects them, which I think is a very important thing, is we often lose sight of the way that we offer those corrections to our students. And so being able to provide that positive correction is key there. And to pull another quote from Ms. Mason's nomination, dignity and respect are not only modeled for students, but also clearly defined and expected each and every day. So dignity and respect, these are bedrocks of the values we want to see in our young people. It's what the Boy Scouts of America seeks to instill in the young boys and girls, men and women that wear our uniforms, and it is what the Rockingham County Public Schools promote with the 6 pillars of character. So it is my honor to present Emily Van Roker with the 2022 Albert K. Fretwell Outstanding Educator Award, or Tammy May on her behalf. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, due to supply chain issues, there actually is a medal that goes along with this, but it hasn't gotten to us from Texas yet. But I will be bringing that by as soon as that comes in. Thank you very much. And I just want to, again, thank the school board and everyone here. So this is actually the first year we've done this award in our district. It's been around for about 6 years. The Boy Scouts of America has had it, and this is the first year we're implementing it, and we're hoping to see many more years of this. I really am hoping to read more nominations of outstanding educators in Rockingham County schools. We will accept nominations every year, not just from principals, but school board members and the public and teachers and students as well. So we'll send out we'll have that information public at some point, and I'm hoping that I'll be here before you again about the same time next year presenting another outstanding educator. So thank you very much. And tell Emily, thank you.
She's expecting a baby anytime now.
I wasn't going to say it. I was leaving that up to someone who knew her a little bit more. But yes, she is very close to a due date, and so she wanted to take it a little easy. So thank you again. Thank you, Mr. Felipe, and thank you for all the work that the Scouts do. Thank you. Next, we will move to Broadway High School Sources of Strength, Peer Leaders, and Adult Advisors. Ms. Rebecca Hill-Shipley.
Chair Breeden, members of the board, Dr. Scheichel, thank you for your time this evening. Sources of Strength is one of the first suicide prevention program that uses an upstream approach to suicide prevention. Peer leaders educate others regarding help-seeking behaviors to reduce suicide in the school level. The mission is to provide the highest quality evidence-based prevention for suicide, violence, bullying, and substance abuse, and empower peer leaders and caring adults to impact their world through the power of connection, hope, help, and strength. Many strengths are more powerful than one. The goal of the program is to activate and mobilize strengths in ways that positively change individuals and communities. The 8 strengths of the wheel are positive friends, generosity, mentors, healthy activities, mental health, medical access, spirituality, and family support. Sources of Strength is recognized by the National Best Practices Registry, the Suicide Prevention Resource Center, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It's listed on the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's National Registry of Evidence-Based Programs and Practices as a gold standard in the United States, and has recently been rated a top for the National Institute of Justice due to statistically significant improvements on perceptions and behaviors pertaining to suicide and social connectedness. Broadway High School began Sources of Strength implementation in 2019 and 2020, and in spite of a pandemic and the disruption that it caused, these students have remained strong in their commitment to the mission of Sources of Strength. And in October, they participated in year 2 of training and have become strong in their planning activities, events, and positive messaging campaigns for the Broadway school community. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce to you a group of these students who are recognizing and representing the entire group of peer leaders. There are 80 at Broadway High School and 15 adult advisors at Broadway High School. I'd also like to welcome Liza Kaufman, who is their assistant principal, wherever she is. There you are. It's a sea of green. I'd like to welcome them and recognize them for the work that they're doing. At this time, I'm going to let Liza make a few comments, and she has some peer leaders that have presentations for you.
Thank you so much for having us this evening. Thank you, Mrs. Hill-Triplett, for all your leadership and support of our program. We are very grateful to be here today. I brought some folks down here to the podium. Also in the back, would you guys just stand up, our other adult advisors and peer leaders who are here today. We're so grateful for the support from the school board and from our central office leadership, from our community services board, for all of the things that we've been able to do with our adult advisors and peer leaders. The work continues. We have more messaging campaigns ahead, but I know through some conversations with students that the work that we have done so far is already life-saving. And I am so grateful for that opportunity to be with students and to do that work. So thank you very much. We are looking forward to some really great spring campaigns. I'd like to turn it over to one of our peer leaders, Connor Barnes, to tell us what it's meant to him.
So basically, for sources of strength, I'd have to say it's very helpful for me to have a group of friends, group of people that I can go and talk to whenever I need to talk to somebody. It's been very helpful for when I have like problems, or if I'm just kind of feeling down, I can just have a group. It's been very helpful for a lot of students that I know that aren't part of the group. Like if they just feel uneasy about something, or if they don't feel comfortable talking to an adult, they know that they have a friend they can go to. There's a lot of great about sources of strength. You can kind of just know, you just kind of there for all of your friends, for everybody that kind of just needs somebody to talk to. So that's about all I got for it. There's a lot of different stuff, and a lot of different people have a lot of different ways of talking about it, but yeah, I'd say that's probably the best way for me to explain it.
Our peer leaders have a gift for each of you. We hope that you like our t-shirts this evening, and we have one for each of you, so you can show your support for Sources of Strength, for the 8 parts of the wheel and the things that people rely on to help them through those things. We're looking forward to springtime with Sources. We have a club meeting tomorrow where we're going to plan some of our all-school events and some more messaging campaigns, so check us out on Instagram.
Thank you, Liza. And thank you, peer leaders, for the wonderful work you're doing in your school. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Harrisonburg-Rockingham Community Services Board. They have been a partner with this initiative from the very beginning. They have provided partial funding in 2019-20 and fully funded year 2 training this year for Broadway High School. They have already set aside funds for next year for full training at Broadway for year 3. Last month, Rockingham County Schools was awarded a grant from the Department of Education that will fully fund years 1 and 2 of Sources of Strength training at East Rockingham, Spotswood, and Turner Ashby High Schools. We are extremely thrilled about this, and we appreciate the role models that the Broadway High School team is providing for implementation across our school division. If you're interested in learning more about what they do, feel free to reach out to Mrs. Kaufman or any of these folks at Broadway High School, or you can go to sourcesofstrength.org. I want to thank Dr. Scheichel for your personal commitment and support for addressing the mental health needs of our students, and of course, appreciation to the board members. This positive impact is immeasurable. So thank you.
Tonight we have just witnessed some really great things that are going on, from the Character Council Awards to the school presentation to teachers being recognized, to the great work that's being done, students supporting students and staff supporting students, and I just congratulate everyone that was recognized tonight for these great works. A lot of good things going on. We are going to move to public comments, and as has been the case, each speaker who has signed up will be allotted 3 minutes. I will notify speakers when we are at the 2.5 minute mark. I would ask that we do tonight as Jeremy suggested, and that is be as nice to each other as you want to be treated nice yourself. So when speakers are speaking, I would just ask that members of the audience let that speaker speak, whether they agree or disagree with what the speaker's saying, because often it takes away from that speaker's time when there's a disruption. So if we can follow the fine example set by Jeremy, I think we'll do fine tonight. So with that, let me begin, and I've got some names that I'm going to struggle with, so I'm going to apologize right up front. Caleb, I'm not even going to try it. Caleb, you.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Chairman Braden, members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to speak here tonight. My name is Caleb Quiroga, and I'm a freshman at Broadway High School. I'm here tonight to discuss some matters I feel are important in our community right now. First off, masks. As we know, Governor Youngkin signed a bill a couple of weeks ago to ban the requirement of masks for Virginia public schools. One thing I noticed in our community, I think it's very important that our community speaks out in what they believe in, but one thing that disappointed me and many other students in our community was how some members of our community acted and how they did not treat members of this board and fellow members of their community with respect. However, I'm not here to argue about whether masks are good or not. When a certain member of this board ran for school board, he ran to give parents a voice, and I said, well, why don't students get one? We are taught that we should speak up and that we should always give our opinion. Students deserve a say in decisions made for them. Secondly, students on the school board. Times like these are times in which students' opinions are very important, and there's no better way to hear them than to put them here on this school board. It is legal for students to be on this board in a non-voting capacity. When I talked to Dr. Scheichel about it a while ago, he made some good points. One of those was that students would have to sit through boring meetings. Well, I believe that if you truly care about serving your community by sitting on this board, you should sit through those meetings. It's important to give students a voice, from within the classroom to the school board to even the Congress. I would like to read a quote from former President John Adams. The principal difficulty lies in the greatest care should be employed in constituting this representative assembly. It should be a miniature, an exact portrait of the people at large. It should think, feel, reason, and act like them. That may be the interest of the assembly to do strict justice at all times. It should be an equal representation, or in other words, equal interest among the people should have equal interest in it. Great care should be taken to effect this and to prevent unfair, partial, and corrupt elections. As I said earlier, students deserve representation. I've heard from many students across the county, from all 4 high schools and even some middle schools, that they agree we should have at least one student sitting here amongst you. It is time that we help make decisions regarding our education. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Caleb. Aiden Webb.
Hello, members of the school board. I'm here to talk to you about your guys' lack of compliance toward masking. I know that now you have complied with the governor, but it has taken way too long for you guys to do this, and I'm ashamed. For far too long we have put up with wearing a mask for 8 hours a day, every day, and for what? Extra protection? People wearing masks and vaccinated people and social distancing were all still getting COVID. There were too many stories of kids coming home from school with rashes on their face, headaches, and getting sick for breathing in their own germs. One kid even threw up in his mask. As a student at Broadway, I can tell you that most students hated them. In gym class, I was told to wear a mask, and I already have asthma, and I can't do that. I can't play kickball for an hour wearing a mask. The first day the students were allowed to choose to wear a mask, 90% of them didn't have one on, because they just all hated them. It's taking you to the school board until now to take the mask away, because tomorrow it'll be illegal for you to enforce it. When the mandate was first issued, When the mandate was first issued, masks away because of my bad. I was told that you had voted to uphold it because you were afraid of getting sued by Governor Northam. So you basically put money in front of the mental and emotional wellness of all students at Rockham County. Do we not matter to you? Matt Cross is the only one that wanted to give people the option, while you and your authoritarian ideas and mindset wanted to control us. As we, the general public, have been asking you, guys, for what feels like forever, is just to give us the option. Just an option. Not to wear masks. And just now you're lifting the mandate, and just now you're lifting the mandate. From the CDC, the average percentage of people getting COVID between ages of 5 to 17, let me skip that. The total cases ever reported to the CDC of any age is 78 million cases in the United States, and the number of deaths is 926,000, only 926,000. And from total deaths to total cases, it was 1.9%. My mistake, 1.19%. And the total kids that have died from that is 663 of those 926,000. Out of the 78 million that have died from COVID, 0.00085% of those are kids. So I don't know what your reasoning behind keeping the masks is, but evidence shows 0%. Evidence shows that COVID has almost zero effect on kids. And Dr. Scheigel, you said last time when Dan Braden said that he would take away the mask if we were out of the red, you said the red is 100 average cases. When you said that, I checked, we were at 42 average cases. So we were already out of the red, and we should have taken masks away then. So members of the school board, I'm very upset with you that you have now just decided to take away the mask and to give control of the kids' health and well-being back to the parents where it should have been. Thanks for nothing.
Tacoma Williams.
Hello, school board, excuse me. Thank you for letting me have the privilege to come up here and speak. It's actually funny, I came up here to speak a couple months back, but I was unable to do that. But I think that fate works in very funny ways, because I think this is perfect to speak about at the closing of Black History Month. I am here to talk on a subject that I am very passionate about, as well as many voices for generations who have not been able to speak their mind about this. I'm here to talk about the Confederate flag in Rockham County Public Schools. The Confederate flag, many see it as heritage, but I think that it's important that we reflect on what this heritage is. It is not okay for people of color, students of color, to go to their schools and have to be subjected to that every day. While many people in this room might not understand the seriousness of the situation and how much it affects the community, it's because we have such small numbers within our community. Many students feel very uncomfortable in our schools, and we want to promote equality in our schools, and we want all of our students to feel safe and welcomed. But when I walk through the hallways and I see people walk through the halls with Confederate flags on their hoodies and jackets and yelling awful things, it makes me feel very unwelcome. But I'm not here for a story of pity, I'm here for a story of power. I'm here to talk about how I really want to urge you, and I really want to work with you to get the Confederate flag out of our schools. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's a step to progress. It's 2022. No student should have to go into the hallways and feel like they don't belong in their schools. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of negative feedback in this community, but I'm strong enough for that. I'm not a stranger to it. I wanted to just say that this is something that I really hope that you will consider, and this is something that I'm pushing for, and I hope that you all are pushing for it too. I just believe that hate symbols should not be in our schools. If the swastika can't be in there, then why should the Confederate flag? Thank you.
Good evening, Board, Mr. Chair. I'm here to talk, because we got budgets this coming up. I know we're looking for budget inputs for the year. I'd like to take this opportunity to advocate for making sure that we are fully funding and increasing the funding, if at all possible, for the fine arts programs here in the Rockingham County Schools. Fun fact, every student that's been up here tonight has actually been a fine arts student, from our character count students to TJ and Aiden and everybody else, so it's great to see them. As we're coming off a musical season, marching band season, we're coming up on assessment. First, I'd like to give a huge round of applause and great job to all of the students and staff that have put on these musicals and really benefited our community with those. Literally thousands of hours go into the preparation and production of these shows. Until you participated with or lived with somebody that is involved with them, you can't fathom the amount of work that goes into these productions. But unfortunately, we have some recurring and persistent issues. These stage curtains behind you, we had some at the schools that were actually burnt through from the stage lights that we just couldn't afford to get replaced. We have, they're held together with safety pins and prayers. We have light and sound boards that are older than our students. We have instruments in the band room right here behind you that are literally held together with duct tape, super glue, and some parents have brought in their soldering guns to try and hold them together, so hopefully they'll last one more year. Our band directors, parent volunteers, you just can't say enough for the amount of work that they do to keep these fine arts programs running. So here's why I believe that we need to really prioritize funding the fine art department. There's truly a huge advantage to it. Students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds have a 5 times lower dropout rate than their contemporaries if they're participating in a fine arts program. Students that take 4 years of art and music classes score an average of 150 points higher on SAT and ACTs than students that only take 1 year or less. Students that engage in our arts programs are less likely to receive disciplinary infractions than the student body overall, and that includes student athletes. Students that receive high-quality, well-funded arts education are twice as likely to graduate college than their peers that don't engage with fine arts education. The data shows that investing in fine arts education has an oversized return on our investment for our students and our community. The fine arts teaches hard work, discipline, the fine arts teaches hard work and discipline, teamwork, academics, social success, enriches these students. I strongly urge the board to increase current funding using the Recovery Act plans and any other tool that's in the budget for it.
Thank you, Mr. Bird. Mary Hill.
Good evening. I'm just going to speak from the heart, and I didn't really have anything written down, but I'm so glad for that second student to tell you all how disappointed he is in you, as we too. I do want to bring up some books that are in our schools right now that our children are reading. Pornography. I'm sure you all are very well aware. They're not calling it that in our schools, but we're going to fight from here on out to make sure that they're out of our schools. Well, Falk, did you ever read those books to Claire when she was in school? How about you, Oscar? How about Sophie and Claire? Did they ever read books like that about oral sex in our elementary schools? I think not. We'll get rid of those. Next is about the bullying, and I'm so glad that person stood up for bullying, whether it be a shirt or a person who repeatedly beats up students and never, ever gets reprimanded. I just looked on here, and one of the parents that is speaking or has already spoken has had felons since 2012. And this person's child seems to be in our school beating up our other children and not being kicked out for some reason. He happens to be friends with quite so many of you school board members. So all I'm asking tonight is for 3 of you to step down. Dan Breeden, you have made a fool of yourself. You didn't like your own picture on your own Facebook. What a pity. Miss Charlotte, I know you stand for what you believe in, but you don't have children in the school. It's time to step down and let somebody else have a chance. And Lowell Folk, your mental instability that you have put all over your Facebook, how you want to commit suicide, sir, I think you need to go see the board and you need something. You need some help of some sort. So I'm asking for you three to step down and resign. And I will be here at every meeting asking for that exact thing. Have a good evening.
It seems very clear to me that several members of this board are not primarily concerned with the best interests of our students, give no regard to what parents think, are willing to disregard the law when it suits you, and are apparently incapable of making sound, logical decisions. On January 24th, despite all the data and expert opinions presented to you, you ignored the pleadings of parents and pretended that forcing our kids to mask up in school was the key to controlling community spread. Your legal justification for defying EO2 was the concocted conflict with SB 1303 and the constitutional authority that you seem to think would be found by the courts to override all parental rights and any executive order, except those, of course, issued by Governor Northam and the CDC. On February 14th, you had the added benefit of 3 weeks of data from the many schools that followed EO2 and made masks optional. They didn't close down from massive outbreaks as some predicted, and community spread in those counties continued to drop at similar rates to ours. You also had a ruling from the Supreme Court that SB 1303 did not conflict with EO2, and you knew that SB 739 was imminent. Again, you ignored parents and the law just to get your way for a few more days. It was never about community spread, as clearly demonstrated by your vote to unmask kids singing in groups, but not even discuss unmasking special needs kids while they were sitting in class. That vote was shameful and telling. I think it's no exaggeration to say that Dan Breeden, Charlotte McQuilkin, and Lowell Falk are among the least respected and least trusted individuals in Rockingham County. I almost feel badly for you, but frankly, you deserve every bit of blowback you ever get from this. You brought it 100% upon yourselves. You had several opportunities to change course, but you dug in your heels and thumbed your noses at the parents, the law, and logic. We will not forget what you did and not stop hounding you for it as long as you serve on this board. The good news is, I know how you can gain back a little bit of respect and trust of this community that you have completely squandered. It's super simple, it requires very little effort, but will take a bit of humility. I urge Dan Breeden, Charlotte McQuilkin, and Lowell Falk to resign. If you simply step down, I and many others will shake your hands and thank you for finally doing the right thing for our kids and our community. Or you can stay the course and continue to deal with the constant blowback while facing the chance of being recalled and the certainty that none of you will ever be re-elected to this board again. The choice is yours. Resign with some dignity or stay and constantly fight with parents until you are forced out one way or the other in shame. I hope for once you can make the right decision for the people of Rockingham County and for yourselves.
Thank you, and thank you to the audience for your kind respect of everyone who spoke this evening. Next, we will move to highlights by board members, and I will begin with Mr. Falk. Thank you, sir. Dr. McQuilkin.
Oh, I'd like to start by saying thank you to Mr. Baker, Ms. Moores, Mr. Martin for your hospitality. It was really nice to be in a building. Thank you so much for all you did to make us feel welcome and the audience feel welcome. Thank you so much. My second is the high school musicals. I had the opportunity to visit and to see all 4 performances, and they were wonderful. Kudos to the students and the staff and the volunteers who contributed to a very enjoyable evening and afternoon. If you missed it, I hope that you will consider going to the middle school musicals will be coming up, which which will be coming up shortly. And my third highlight for this evening is the job fair on Saturday. Thank you to the personnel department and all the administrators and teachers who came and interviewed. I believe we had a very successful job fair, and I'd like to thank everyone for all the work that they put in to making all the candidates feel welcome, and because we want to continue the excellence here in Rockingham County Schools.
Thank you, Dr. McQuilkin. Ms. Lord.
Thank you. We've got lots of amazing things going on in our schools right now, and I encourage you to go see a musical, see a sporting event. Wish luck to our band members or our FFA members, our DECA members. I believe we have a field trip coming up awfully soon. So wish those students luck, and join me in wishing those students luck as they go out and compete and do awesome things. But my biggest highlight for the week has been today. I was able to have lunch here at J. Frank Hilliard. Thank you guys for your hospitality tonight, as well as this afternoon. We celebrated Patty Rohrbosch. Did I say Rohrbosch? Patsy. Patsy's last day at J. Frank Hilliard. She has been here since this has been a middle school. Taking care of she's one of the custodians, and she is taking care of students and lambs and fish and hamsters and all sorts of things that she's done for us, and I appreciate all of her work, and I hope she has a wonderful retirement, and I hope if you see her, please join me in wishing her a happy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Scheich.
It's always good to be here at Hilliard. We just had dinner in the library where I used to have my desk when I didn't have a classroom my first year teaching here. Thanks to David for hosting us, and Amy, who was a student here, and Brett, whose younger sister I taught in this building. So you can always look at staff in the buildings and see that amazing connection. And at Broadway, and now at Hilliard, that's always been really strong. I remember my first Christmas party that we had as a staff, and Delma Botkin asked all the staff who had attended Broadway High School at that time, this was when this was still Broadway High School, to stand, and it was amazing to see really almost half of all the staff members were actually former students at Broadway. So this is a great place, and you guys are continuing to make it a special place, as a middle school. And then also, to Becky Hill-Shiflett and Liza and all the peer leaders for the amazing work, when it comes to sources of strength and all the other work to help our students who struggle, with tough times. As you know, that's, a very personal topic to me, and also, to many of us, it's really critical that we have these opportunities for students. And again, it's evidence-based and best practice, and that's what we'll continue to do. So thanks to that entire group and to you for all your leadership, Becky. I know, there is, you've already announced, right, that, you will be leaving, and you'll leave a huge hole at central office with all your work that you've done, and no better time than today to say thank you, when you're with the students and the administrators that you've worked so hard with. I'll forever appreciate it. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. Thank you. We've had the pleasurable opportunity to recognize several students, but are there students here tonight that are here as part of a government class assignment? All right. All right. We will be happy to sign your agendas at the close of the open meeting. So just come up and see us after that, and welcome. And if you have any follow-up questions with regards to things that have taken place here tonight, feel free to reach out. Next, we'll move to action items, and we need to approve some minutes, and I will entertain a motion. You received the minutes in your packet, and I will entertain a motion for approval if it be your desire.
I move that we approve the minutes of the February 14th regular meeting.
Thank you, Dr. McQuilkin. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Lohr. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes as they are presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Field trips.
You have 2 field trips for your approval tonight. Spotswood High School will then attend DECA March 4th 4th through the 6th. 4 students in Virginia Beach and Broadway High School, Technology Students Association, and Korean Technical Student Organization will attend the state conference April 28th through May 1st, 2022, up to 16 students at Hampton, Virginia, and I recommend approval of those field trips as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Scheigel. I will move to accept the superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Falk. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. 2022-23 school calendar, Dr. Scheigel.
Good evening, Chair Breeden, members of the board, Dr. Scheigel. At our February 14th school board meeting, 2 different drafts of the 22-23 calendar were presented as information for the board to review and discuss. Coming back this evening to see, after some conversations, if we could get a motion to have one of those drafts approved for next school year.
Recommendation.
Move that we accept the draft B calendar as presented for the 2022-23 school year.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lord. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. McQuilkin. Any discussion? Any questions, Dr. Shiplett, or?
So the draft B has us starting on Wednesday.
Correct.
And getting out June 9th on Friday.
No, ma'am. It's
June
8th.
June
Thursday.
8th. Oh, so 9th is a Saturday. Okay.
No, 9th's a Friday.
Oh. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So,
how about you explain that, because that's a little confusing.
Yeah, so Thursday, June 8th would be the last day of school, and then Friday, June 9th would be a teacher workday. And what is unique about draft B is we pulled that Saturday, June 10th workday and moved it into that first couple of weeks of February to serve as parent conference time. So there's kind of a unique twist there.
Thank you. Other questions? If not, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Under information items, budget planning for 22-23, Ms. Mass.
Good evening, Chairman Breeden, Dr. Scheigel, and members of the board. This evening, I'd hoped to give you an update on the state revenue. However, the House and Senate templates have not been released yet. However, I have received total numbers, and it appears the Senate gave us a bit more, and the House gave us a bit less than the governor's budget. So both are in the ballpark of the governor's proposed budget that we looked at a couple weeks ago. I do have an update on our expenditures for fiscal year 23. As you will recall, we had a request of approximately $3.4 million in new personnel. Currently, we have reduced that to approximately $1.9 million. The positions that are still currently in the budget are on the screen and are also on the sheet that I handed out. I'll just review them quickly there. We have a couple special education positions. We're recommending that interns that currently are at Elkton Middle School and River Bend be converted to assistant principals. We have 1.5 school counselors in the budget, and those are required in order to make sure we meet the SOQ ratios for school counselors. We have ELL positions in the budget. We have coordinator of PE. We also have speech therapist stipends in the budget. The speech therapist
would receive a stipend on top of the salary scale of which they're paid. A few social workers and psychologists, another work-based learning coordinator. We have one in the division. This would be a second. That person has been very busy helping high school students. Letters coaches, a part-time PE teacher at Rockingham Academy, and some testing help, and also 7.5 enrollment positions that would be throughout the division. Furthermore, we had approximately $6.6 million of division-wide proposals in the first draft. You can see on the screen, we have reduced that to $1,465,000. You can see we've narrowed the proposals to our extracurricular stipends, reduced middle school at-risk program, and some salary scale adjustments. Those salary scale adjustments are for the LPN scale, the custodial scale, and cafeteria monitors. What you do not see here is the requested adjustment to the teacher's salary scale. We hope to be able to make an adjustment above the 5% increase currently in the budget for all employees. However, we will need to confirm our state and local revenue before we will know if any additional increase can be applied to this scale. The other highlight I would like to point out is our Grow Your Own program that is also in the budget. This is a program where we pay for college classes to help current employees who either have an associate's degree or a 4-year degree to become licensed teachers and then work for us. As you know, a teacher shortage is a problem for the nation. I would be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions at this point from Ms. Mast?
Just want to say thank you again, Cheryl, for all the work. Again, the requests are always millions above what we can even hope to fund. And so I do want to make one comment. I don't know if Mr. Fritz is still here, but a couple of years ago, we had asked Beth Harder, our fine arts supervisor, to provide a report of the state of the arts and what it would take to fully fund the program the way she would like to see it. And that request is in the current budget request and still in our anticipated budget if state funding comes through. So what do you want to know?
Thank you. Other questions or comments? Thank you for keeping us updated throughout, not just at the meetings, but in between meetings as well. All right. That concludes our information items. We'll move to other business. School board questions. I'll begin with Ms. Moore.
I don't think I have any.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. McLaughlin.
I'm passing.
Thank you. Mr. Falk. Okay. Any questions, Dr. Scheidt? Okay. I don't think I have any questions at this point either. Thank you all for coming out this evening. Please be safe driving home, and again, thank you for coming. We do have reason to enter into a closed meeting, and I will entertain a motion in that regard at this time.
I move that the board enter into a closed meeting to discuss and consider the following pursuant to the provisions of Virginia Code, Section 2.2-3711A1, personnel, specific public officers, appointees, or employees for the purpose of considering such individuals' assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, salary, or resignation, and A2, one or more particular students, specifically related to discipline and requests regarding compulsory school attendance based on religious beliefs that would involve disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record concerning a student.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Falk. All those in favor of the motion to enter into closed executive meeting according to the motion stated by Mrs. Moore, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is unanimous. That concludes our public meeting.